Dear students, I hope you are keeping well and staying safe. Today here we are going to discuss about the fatty acid synthesis. Next please. Fatty acids are synthesized within our cell, which is known as de novo synthesis of fatty acids. Actually, it was discovered, this pathway was discovered in 1964 by scientists Lennon, and this particular biosynthetic pathway occurs within the cytoplasm. The organs where fatty acids are synthesized mainly are liver, adipose tissues, kidney, and brain and mammary glands. Now, what are the sources from where the fatty acids are actually generated? In general, the fatty acids are synthesized mainly from acetyl-CoA as the start material, and the acetyl-CoA you know can be generated mainly from the utilization of carbohydrate, rather glucose, through glycolytic pathway, and pyruvate is oxidized to acetyl-CoA in the mitochondria for further oxidation. So, mainly when carbohydrate is in excess, the body stores that energy in the form of converting that excess of carbohydrate and energy as fatty acids within our body. What are the enzymes responsible for this biosynthetic pathway? Very interestingly, here a multi-enzyme complexes are main responsible for the purpose of fatty acid synthesis. Multi-enzyme complex means a group of enzymes. 7 enzymes are grouped together, which is playing the main role of synthetic the fatty acids from the start material. But another enzyme, acetyl-CoA carboxylase, is the regulatory enzyme which is involved in the first step of the fatty acids biosynthesis. We will discuss in all in details, and that particularly procedure you will see are nothing but actually addition of 2 carbons at a time, mainly in the formation of the fatty acid synthesis in the form of acetyl-CoA, and we will see the steps. The product definitely is the fatty acid synthesized by successive addition of 2 units of carbon to some medium chain or long chain fatty acids. Here we will be discussing with the synthesis of 16 carbon fatty acids permitted as a saturated fatty acids, and we also discuss about the process of some other fatty acid synthesis after the main pathway we will be discussing. So, what are the cofactors actually we require for this synthetic pathway? We mainly require NADPH. You know there are 2 types of reducing equivalents. One is NADH and another is NADPH. NADPH mainly utilized in the form of reducing biosynthesis, and it is available in the cytosol, and NADH are actually reducing equivalents which ultimately goes in the respiratory chain for final oxidation to give us ATPs. Now, this NADPH is required very much, and the main NADPH generator synthetic pathway is the hexose monophosphate shunt that you have already learned. Now, ATPs are very much important because when there is excess of energy and excess of food, then only this synthetic pathway occurs. Biotin is the most important cofactor here required, as well as bicarbonate. And acetyl-CoA is the definitely start material for the particular synthetic pathway. Now, what should be the nutritional status, as I have already discussed? When cell is in high nutritional state, there is a high levels of glucose as well as proteins, TCA cycle is totally loaded, and the increased levels of pyruvate as well as acetyl-CoA available in the mitochondria. This acetyl-CoA will be coming out of the mitochondria, but not directly. There is a process of coming out of the mitochondria, and this acetyl-CoA will be utilized to synthesize fatty acids. Next, please. Provision of acetyl-CoA and NADPH for lipogenesis. That is very important. So, you require some important pathways here. That is a subtle pathway which helps acetyl-CoA to come out from the mitochondria to the cytosol. In the mitochondria, acetyl-CoA is first converted to citrate with the help of oxaloacetate, that you know, and this citrate is actually further oxidized through the TCA cycle, but here when it is excess, this excess amount of citrate can come out of the mitochondria for the synthetic pathway, and this citrate comes because citrate has a port. Not all the molecules can be are able to cross the mitochondrial membrane. Some definite molecule which has a port can come out. Citrate has a port here, transporter here, which comes out through this port, and the citrate coming out of the mitochondria in the cytosol are acted on by an enzyme ATP citrate lyase, which converts this to further acetyl-CoA and oxaloacetate, and this oxaloacetate is further converted to cytosolic malate by the enzyme malate dehydrogenase in the cytosol, and this malate can again go inside the mitochondria through malate porter. So, here is a citrate and malate are playing the main role of subtle pathways are acting here, so that acetyl-CoA can go out of the mitochondria for further utilization through the biosynthetic pathway for formation of acetyl-CoA to fatty acids, or sometimes also acetyl-CoA is utilized to form cholesterol. That will be also discussed. So, these are the very important pathway, and also the provision of NADPH. As I have already told, NADPH is mainly provided by the hexose monophosphate pathway, as when the glucose is excess, this hexose monophosphate pathway is also sufficiently producing that NADPH which is required, as well as we have lot of ATP stored in our body to start the biosynthetic pathway. Next, please. So, conversion of acetyl-CoA to malonyl-CoA is the first step, as I have told you, is acted on by an enzyme acetyl-CoA carboxylase enzyme. This is also the regulatory step. Here you see the biotin-nated enzyme is first acted on by the ATP and HCO3 ions, and they are converted to enzyme biotin carboxylated compound, which going to react with the acetyl-CoA to give rise to malonyl-CoA. That is the first and most important step of fatty acid synthesis. And this enzyme acetyl-CoA carboxylase is a regulatory enzyme. I have told you biotin is present as a prosthetic group in that enzyme. Acetyl-CoA carboxylase is a regulatory enzyme also. It is a rate limiting step in the fatty acid biosynthesis, and major activators of that enzyme are citrate and insulin. citrate actually directly helps on excess of citrate. So this particular pathway will be influenced, and as well as the insulin helps in all the synthetic pathway. Likewise, the inhibitors are mainly the palmitoyl-CoA. When palmitoyl-CoA has excess produced within the cytosol, it further inhibits the feedback, inhibits the formation of the acetyl-CoA to palmitoyl-CoA. So, excess of fatty acid synthesis will also inhibit the initial pathway, as well as glucagon, which is a degradative, which anti-insulin effect, and this helps in degradation of the fatty acids rather synthesis. Now, once fatty acid starts synthesizing, as malonyl-CoA is produced, it has another very important role actually. It helps in making the carnitine shuttle that will be discussed in the fatty acid oxidation closed, so that no further fatty acid goes inside the mitochondria for degradation. So, malonyl-CoA, whenever present in excess in the mitochondria, in the cytosol, inhibits the fatty acids to be again degraded, and this is very important in the regulatory steps. So, overall reaction is acetyl-CoA plus 7 malonyl-CoA plus 14 NADPH plus 14H plus give rise to one palmitate, which is 16 carbon even chain fatty acid, saturated fatty acid, plus 7 carbon dioxide, 6 water molecule, 8 coenzyme, and CoASH and 14 NADPH are produced by this overall reaction pathways. We will see what are the next by steps. We will see the pathway. Next, please. So, this is the multi-enzyme enzyme complex which I was telling consists of 7 polypeptides tightly associated to form the complex. These are the different enzymes, and these enzymes are actually you can see there are 2 functional and 2 structural units. This is actually one particularly enzyme, this is another enzyme. Structurally they are different, they are the same, but functionally that is the one enzyme which is acting, that is the another enzyme which is acting. That we will see gradually within the in the next discussion. So, there are different components, along with some carrier protein is also included in that particular multi-enzyme class. You please go through this enzyme, and what are the importance of the multi-enzyme complex? That this enzyme can channelize the substrate directly. In case of other enzymes, the enzyme has to be reacted with the substrate, then product is released, and this product goes to be acted on by another enzyme, and then again the substrate is utilized to convert the product. So, this way there is a space in time as well as the reactive molecules also required to be associated in the mass action, but so a lot of energy is also lost, but here the particular substrate is channelized from one enzyme to another enzyme, and this by converted the final product from the substrate which is released. So, this will gradually we will see in the fatty acid synthetic steps. Next, please. So, this is the biosynthesis of fatty acids. Though it is little complicated, but for you just understand, this is the enzyme which has practically 2 hands. One hand it is mainly taking SH group, cysteine SH, which is a part of the acyl carrier protein, and another part is actually the coenzyme SH, and these two are suppose these two hands are working here. See, one hand it receives the acetyl-CoA. So, the first step acetyl-CoA is converted to malonyl-CoA. Now, this again one acetyl-CoA is taken in and this malonyl-CoA is attached to by the another hand. So, these two gradually working together in step by step, you will find an enzyme is never dislodged from the substrate. So, always a second enzyme, here it is acyl malonyl enzyme is formed here. So, this way the reaction continues and one after another different enzyme complexes are produced, where finally we will get acyl ACP acyl enzyme complex, which is further degraded by the thiolase enzyme, which forms the palmitate, and this enzyme again goes to work on the coming ingredients of acetyl-CoA, forming then again to malonyl-CoA, and this way the reaction goes on till that required chain length is achieved. So, please go through this, and if you do not understand, you can always ask later. Now, next, here the fate of the palmitate synthesis. What happens after the palmitic acid is synthesized? This palmitic acid is converted to palmitoyl-CoA, and this palmitoyl-CoA ultimately can be elongated or esterified. Esterification means it is linked with some alcohol like glycerol and they are stored in the tissues, or it can further be extended to long chain fatty acids or very long chain fatty acids. The elongation of fatty acid actually chain occurs in the not in the cytoplasm but in the endoplasmic reticulum by macrosomal fatty acid elongase enzymes. So, that is another important step, and very many long chain or very long chain fatty acids we require to be produced in our body. Now, regulation of lipogenesis, as I have already told, regulated at the acetyl-CoA carboxylase step. Then this is by the allosteric as well as covalent modification, which are short-term regulation, and induction and repression by the long-term mechanism. So, that is actually you have to study in detail. I will be discussing the oral enzyme regulation maybe in some other class. So, citrate is the main activators and long chain acyl-CoA is inhibitors, as I have already told you. Insulin helps in the synthesis of the fatty acids, as well as glucagon and epinephrine just do the reverse. So, here you have an idea how fatty acids are synthesized de novo. I request you to please go through, and when you will have a normal classes and interactive sessions, then you will be able to further make your doubts cleared. So, this is something you just can have help to understand the mechanism and biosynthetic pathway of fatty acids biosynthesis. Thank you.